Hi, I'm Kimberly Lucas. I go by Kym with a Y, and I bring you greetings from Washington, D.C. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and get to know a little bit more about me and my family. I am thrilled and honored to be a candidate for bishop in the Diocese of Colorado. I grew up in a small town in North Carolina called Spring Lake. The unique thing about Spring Lake was that it was bordered by Fort Bragg Army Base and Pope Air Force Base. So from my earliest memories, I grew up in a very rich and culturally diverse environment. I learned a lot about different languages and different culture, different foods, and that experience informed my curiosity about learning more about the people around me and all of their varieties and differences. My mom was a single mom for most of my childhood, and she wasn't particularly religious. But her older sister was. She was the Episcopalian in the family, and she's the one who brought me into the church, first through my baptism, and later as I shadowed her as she performed her altar guild duties. Some of my earliest and most profound memories of church are sitting in a church in the early morning in the quiet, breathing in the scents of beeswax and incense and Murphy's oil soap. When my auntie died, my stepfather began taking me to the AME church. There, I learned how to study the Bible, that the Bible was mine for the interpreting. I learned the importance of tithing, and I also learned that the best thing about church was church camp. Nonetheless, when my mother and stepfather separated, I took that as my excuse to leave church. When I went to Wake Forest University, two amazing things happened. The first was I met the love of my life my first day there. The second was that I was lured back into church by an Episcopal chaplain, coaxing me in with the promise of pizza. Pizza led to confirmation, which led to ordination. A month after I was ordained to the priesthood, I married that guy I met the first day at Wake Forest. And Mark and I have built a wonderful life together. Mark is an outdoors guy. He's a triathlete, he's a hiker, he's a rock climber, and in our relationship he has taught me the joy of being out in nature. Together, we have a family of 4 children. Jaden is 17, Kaya, our only daughter, is 15, and we have 2 10-year-old twins. As if our life wasn't crazy enough, we rehomed 2 German Shepherds. Mark and I are passionate about multicultural engagement and racial reconciliation. We both, in our own ways, have worked on it. We decided early on that we were going to raise our children to be bilingual. Even though English is both of our native languages, we felt that it was important that our children have another language so that their world would be open wider. And I've brought this passion for multiculturalism and diversity to my ministry for the last 21 years. I have sought to build communities that were diverse, even when those communities became complicated and communication became difficult. I felt it was God's kingdom that we were building, that our church should look like the kingdom of God. And that has been a passion of mine and one that I've worked toward earnestly. I am delighted that the Episcopal Church in Colorado shares this passion with me. I fell in love with Colorado the first time I visited over 20 years ago. The landscape diversity is awesome and amazing. And from the Flatirons to Rocky Mountain National Park to Rio Grande National Park, I have loved exploring the natural beauty, the secret wonders and treasures of Colorado. In addition to the beauty of the landscape in Colorado, I have come to know the beauty of the people of Colorado. Coloradoans are resilient, independent, and free-spirited. They are also welcoming and warm, and nowhere is this more embodied than the Episcopal Church of Colorado. The Episcopal Church of Colorado has been through a lot, and yet you've emerged not a church that feels sorry for yourself, but a church that is excited and passionate about the future that God has for you. A church that is welcoming and wanting to embrace the diversity around it. A church that wants to make room for everyone around God's table. The Episcopal Church in Colorado has a bright future ahead of it. And while the journey might not always be easy, if the Spirit wills it, I would be thrilled to walk that journey with you as your bishop.